Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Stonehearth Alpha 24. First things first here, I think we're going to do some building on camera today, but I want to get some stuff queued up. It looks like our blacksmith already has some stuff they're working on. Let's take a look at the mason. Probably need a trapper's knife actually. We'll make some of this stuff just to give them something to do while we do some crafting, or building rather. We're just gonna build a bunch of this stuff. We'll figure out what uses we have for it later. I'm not too concerned about that right now. Let's get some of these. We'll get some of those. Sure. This looks fine for now. Carpenter. Do we need stuff here? Probably. So we'll kind of do a similar thing over here. We'll just make 4 of these, 4 of those. Yeah, it all seems great. Perfect. Nailed it. That was a little tip we got in the comments section too. Mentioning that we should probably have our crafters actually crafting while we're on camera, or, you know, building, or pretty much just any time really. They may as well be getting experience. So thank you for the tip. It has been applied. So what do we want to do here? Let's take a look. I think we kind of want this. Should this go out further? Potentially. So let's just start laying some stuff down. What if we do... This is going to be too short. We want to do... What if we start here? We'll raise this up to a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, dang it. 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And do we go a bit higher? Maybe. Let's do 13. Good lucky number 13. Where are we at here? We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and a 3. So that might be the initial side height here. And what I think I want to do is kind of just create a little arch. Dang it. So we'll do something like this, just to start with. What happened there? We'll do and I think 1 more will get us even on both sides. And we'll see how this looks. Do we want it to go up again? Potentially. And we don't have an odd number between these two, so we're gonna have 4 at the top rather than coming to a peak, essentially. So how does that look for the beginning? Not terrible. But now what we need to decide is, do we want to add anything to this? And by that I mean, do we want to... Do these fences over here just disappear? It kind of seems that way. What I mean is, do we want to create potentially like a structural element here, like pillars or something along those lines? And I think the answer might be a yes. We just have to find out a good way to do it. So maybe it'll help if we keep fleshing this out a little bit. And is this right? Yeah. So we'll just do something like this, and then we'll bring it up 1 more. And same thing over here. Do I have the right? I do not have the right one. Oh no. Add 1 there. Very good. And the same thing here. And we'll bring it up 1 more. And we're essentially just gonna repeat this pattern maybe over and over again. So something like this. Dang it. Where are we? Right here. Yes. No. We should be. Uh-oh. So over, up, over, up, over, up. There we go. We're back on track now. And again, since we have an odd number, we'll just bring this across. Yeah. I think that'll work out just fine. And let's do the same thing right here. May as well. But I hope you guys have been enjoying Carpenter level 4. Great job. All right, let's, I guess we'll take a break from building. Oh, we have some undead now. We should have 2 footmen. Indeed, here they go. Rugged survivalist stops by with some wares. Let's make sure we can take care of this. We can take care of that. Very good job. Slow down time. Let's take a peek. I don't think I'm necessarily too concerned about that. We should give our other hearthlings something to do, though. Is there still? There is still some iron over here. So we'll set a mining job there. That should keep them busy for at least a little while. Give me some slabs. And where are we at here? So we should have 2. And bring this up 1 more, like this. Yes? I believe so. Yeah. No. Too much. Undo. This is kind of what I was talking about, by the way. Building on camera. It can kind of... It's not frustrating necessarily, but... So would this come over like this? I suppose so. Yeah. That looks right. Maybe not frustrating, but there is a lot of like do and undo. And then we will do the same thing on this side as well. So we'll get this guy going, and it should be 1 higher though, yes? I'm pretty sure this is the plan that we... Now see, now that looks funky too. Okay, it must not be... Alright, that's fine. Undo that last one. Yeah. Okay, perfect. And then let's make sure this is still kind of giving us the right effect. I think it is. So we'll want to kind of bring this all in, have this be like an entryway tunnel. Why are you giving me pattern, but you're not? There we go. Do we want checkers though? We probably don't want that. This isn't terrible. It'd be kind of nice to have some texture on there though. We'll leave it like this, see what we think. So bring this back, and then we want to find a way to get maybe some columns, something along those lines. We need to give it a little bit more structural, what's the word I'm looking for here? Interest, maybe, is the right word. We don't want it to look too plain. We don't want it to be just like your kind of typical arch. Do we bring this one up? a little bit higher? Potentially. How'd we do here? Absolutely crushed it. So do we bring this one up more? I think the answer here. If we did, it would have to come up here. And how's that gonna look? We'll find out. We can always undo it. So something like that is what it would end up being. So we'll do the same thing on this other side here. Very good. It's getting a little bit hard to see the block placement. All right, so bring this one over to, yeah, I think that's still fine. So you kind of get the idea of what we want to go for this main entrance, I think. And we'll want to add some more detail to the surrounding area so it's not so abrupt, because we also want to probably have some outdoor buildings here and up here and maybe built into the walls. That could be really cool, actually. That might be something we can work on too, now that I'm thinking about it. So if this is like the archway, we could have, you know, for example, maybe something like this. Right, like we could have pillars. Oh, I think I missed a couple spots. But essentially we would have pillars, and then we could kind of carve out an entryway here too. I wish the pillars would stay there, but like essentially mine out little living areas and make them the homes. But it would be kind of, it might be kind of difficult doing that. Maybe they would just be for decorative purposes, like we'd essentially just make a shell out of it. Because I think it'd be pretty difficult for the Hearthlings to like have to navigate back out and up through here, unless we did like ladders up, which I don't know. Maybe that doesn't seem very dwarven either. So we want to keep somewhat like lore in mind as we go. But I don't hate that idea. We could do some pillars and some decorative pieces outside. I think that would add some good detail, some good needed detail even. So what do we do here? Potentially just kind of keep going. I like how this looks, and we need to figure out lighting too, because we want to have lights going all throughout it. Because I think they'd get sort of unhappy if they were living underground with no light source. I could see that being a problem. How are we doing here? Let's take a look at the forge. I'm sure that you have some stuff that you could be doing. Steel ingots even. Interesting. And these require bars. Yes. So we could make 20 of those. We might need to chop some more trees too. In fact, why don't we do that just to make sure we have enough lumber going forward. And I think we can even, yeah, like we have a potter. We need to get a trap or two to bring in some more food probably. Though our food score is doing okay. Kind of like this for the floor. The more, move back here. Yeah, that's not bad. I feel like this is almost like too light colored to go along with the rest of the aesthetic. I don't know if I like the checkerboard. I think this looks good. This is probably like one of my favorite textures that they've actually put into the game even. So let's take a peek here. And I guess we'd want to follow, well, we probably want to add some diversity in the shades of gray that we're using so that it looks a little bit more, again, interesting, really. So maybe we can do maybe something like this. We just want to add little spots. Little spots is kind of what we're going for. So we'll do that, and then maybe switch over to this. We can even use some of these other gray blocks that we haven't been using, and then maybe bring it back here. And we can kind of play around with that and see. Just make sure that it kind of looks. Yeah, we might want to space it out a little bit more, not have them in necessarily like rows like this. That might end up looking a little bit silly. But I think it definitely adds some more detail, just a little flecks of difference here and there. We'll do. I guess it's going to be a little bit difficult to not have them in rows. But I think as the rest of this fills out, it'll blend a little bit better too, because we can start blending this way and not just straight up and down. That's the hope anyways. All right, so let's get one of these going. Maybe keep that one consistent for a little bit. And then something like that. Yeah, it's starting to add a little bit of something there. We don't want it to all look, exactly the same. There's no fun in that, which we might end up wanting to redo some of this. I don't know. Just thoughts. So I think that'll work pretty well for us. This is going to end up, we potentially carved this too deep, so this might end up looking a little bit tunnel-ish. So maybe we can work on that too as time goes forward. And it could just be the road is maybe adding an effect there. I don't know. We're going to have to just see how it goes as we continue on. Do we have anything to sell? I'm sure that we do. I just don't think that, like, we can get rid of some of these probably. That's probably fine. That's fine. There's a ton of iron right here too, jeez. And then we also need to think about, how do we incorporate this in? This is actually pretty large. It might end up dwarfing a lot of what we have here actually, now that I'm looking at it. So maybe we scale this down and try to implement it there. Yeah, maybe we do. So what did I originally make this as? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, makes sense. But if we did like a 4 by 4, and we still want to keep it roughly, well, we want to keep it somewhat similar, just kind of scaled down. Maybe this just has too big of a footprint. But we don't want it to, also, we don't want it to look puny, and having it bigger is nice because you can absolutely add more detail to it. Whereas this, it's like this is going to be the size of the handle essentially. And it's going to be much harder to add any kind of detail there. So something to think about, something to maybe come back to. It's either we scale this down or we scale this way up. And I think scaling this down is going to be the much easier task. And, just keeping in mind the time commitment it's going to take to try to flesh this out in any real sense. And who knows when the next alpha version is going to come out, right? And if there's cool features there, we want to explore that. So we don't want to spend too much time, if we can help it, kind of fine tuning and tweaking this kind of stuff. We want it to look good, but we don't want to spend, you know, all of our time doing it, if that makes sense. So maybe we do something like this. And this is kind of just going like I have a rough idea of, you know, like kind of what I want it to look like, but this is mostly just free form at this point. We're just kind of figuring it out as we go. Something like that. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Could work. Did we get that right? Yes, we did. So we'll add something like this. And then this. Looks pretty similar. Farmer level 5. Great job. And then maybe switch back here to keep this kind of the same. Oops. Do one of those. And we'll switch back. So we can do something like that. Yeah, might be good. We'll see. If we could incorporate this kind of design into like the pillars, that would be kind of neat. It would also be probably pretty difficult. I don't know if we're necessarily there with our building skill, but it's something to think about certainly. But I wanted to just kind of give you guys a little bit of insight as to like kind of the process that I take when I'm building stuff. We did it a little bit in other I guess playthroughs is the term I'll use. Like when we were building the castle, we did some on-screen building, and you know, hopefully you guys find it a little bit interesting. If you do, we'll try to keep doing it. If you don't, then we can also just not do it. That might mean that there's less Stonehearth content though, in terms of episodes, just because, you know, I'd want to get some stuff completed before I uploaded, you know, another video. If you don't want to see the building on camera, that's the only kind of, I guess, what I'd consider a downside, right? I'd have to, you know, play roughly the same amount, but, you know, upload less content. So up to you. I'll let you chime in the comments and tell me what you think. Net worth. All right, so we got net worth, but we need food. What would you like to do, Professor? He'll help other people gain experience. I think we're gonna change your job to a trapper though. And why don't we speed up time just so he'll go grab the trapper knife. Very great job. And can we just set the trapping zone like right here? Because that would be pretty handy if we could. Has joined Nightville, yeah. Update. Footman level 2. Great job. Hopefully that'll get them a little bit better equipment. Looks like they were able to equip the armor, which is not nothing. I'm kind of digging this for the archway here. I think that's gonna end up looking pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll keep building this up. Something like this. Whoop. And maybe switch over. Sure, that seems fine. And we'll do one of these. Arrived at the wares to sell. Yeah, probably good. Kind of just want to focus on finishing this before I lose my place. Oh, dang it. All right. And then bring this over like so. Yeah, that could work. It might get a little bit too high. Potentially. We might not want to take it this high. It's going to make it harder to blend in because it means we're going to have to like go way out to try to blend this in any real form. But I think we're getting closer to where we might want to start. Oh. All right, they're on it immediately. We have a giant wolf. Can we take out a giant wolf? Certainly we can, right? Yeah. We're gonna take some damage from it though. Jeez. Ooh, let's get close. We might want to consider. An herbalist. In fact, let's go ahead and just do that. Let's get another plot here. Maybe do some bright bell flowers. Harvest? Yes, very good. And now with our herbalist, we want to get an herbalist lab and start getting some of these tonics going. We want to make sure our footmen are actually, you know, staying relatively healed up if we can. Well, this is done. I suppose we can drop this here. Sure. Surely we can. And now our herbalist should be making theirs too. Very good. Very good job. Set that down. Go ahead and make your one small healing tonic. Sure. How we do here? Oh my gosh, this is getting just like more. Truly we are dwarves. Let's just get some of this other stuff. And what is this over here? This is just a random... It's random carrots? Oh. That's kind of new. Yes, go ahead and make some more of these. Let's try to get you leveled up if we can. But I think that's going to do it for me for today. A little bit on the shorter side. But hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Let me know in the comments any feedback you might have about A, the building in general, and B, you know, if you want to see more of it on camera, or if you're okay with maybe less episodes but more progress, or more episodes but less progress per episode, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you did enjoy, go ahead and hit the like button. It does help me out so very much. And if you want to see more in the future, go and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Till then, we'll see you next episode.